information, went over gross value, the life of the stock. Now let's go over dollar cost averaging. Okay? So let's just make believe this is what a chart looks like on a mutual fund. And a client's investing $200 a month. On an automatic investment plan, that is the greatest way to invest because it removes the emotion out of it. It's automatic. Every month we're going to withdraw X amount of dollars and it's going to get invested. You don't have to write a check every month. Because if you were writing the check every month, you bet, oh man, the market's good, invest. Oh, the market's not good. Maybe I won't invest this month. Maybe next month. Well, you're losing out on your opportunities. So when you have it on an automatic track, what it does is it removes the emotion out of it and lets you invest logically every month, dollar cost average. So watch. Let's just use this example. Let's say the price of the mutual fund is this much per share. So you invest $200 that month. What did you buy that month? 40 shares. Next month, it's up to $10. You invest $200. Watch how emotion and logic argue with each other. You're happy that it went up to $10 emotionally. Logically, you're investing the exact amount of money, but you're actually buying less what? Shares. Now you got 20. But you're happy. You're like, Omar, you're the man. What a good investment you chose for me. Unbelievable. It's so great. But you're buying less shares. Now, it's worth $25. You want to name your next child after me at this point. Right? You're emotionally ecstatic. Logically, you only bought that month 8 shares. Now, 9/11 happens. $2 a share. Your number one fear, I knew you could lose everything. You haven't lost, none of them businesses went out of business. It's just the value that day went down because a lot of people got scared and withdrew money. And like he brought up, when you're either buying or you're unloading, it creates the price. Like with real estate, right? When real estate was hot and everybody was buying real estate, that drove the price up, right? And then everybody stopped buying real estate. Nobody wanted real estate, so that drove the price down. Well, when a tragedy happens like 9/11, people get scared, and what do? Unload their investment. So if everybody's unloading it, it drives the price down. You with me? Not that they're out of business, it's just worth less that day. So now the client calls me. I knew it, and I remind them of our dollar cost averaging example. And I explain to them, and I remind them about logic versus emotion. And you're making an emotional decision. And why, if you have extra cash, why don't you invest in them? Well, I'm not going to invest extra cash. Okay, well, why don't you just keep investing what you are investing? Okay, I don't know why I'm listening to you, but I will. So then they can invest $200, and it's worth $2 a share. You with me? So now you got 100 shares. Now next month it goes up to $10. As a matter of fact, folks, within 90 days of 9/11 happening, 90 days, the market went right back to where it was prior to 9/11. How many people unloaded at $2 a share and then still haven't gone back in yet? Mr. Carter. 90 days. I mean, I know at the moment it seemed like the world's ended. I remember not wanting to leave the house. I was even depressed. Okay? I mean, I laid there in the bed because I didn't have a job, so I could do whatever I wanted to do. I laid there in bed and just watched the news all day long, like a week. Okay? But ignorance cost people a lot of money because they unloaded at the wrong time, and then within that, you missed it. Once it goes back, you missed it. You unloaded at this price. Now when you get in, you're at this price. You lost. Now you lost money. See, if you leave it in there, you didn't lose money. It's just worth less. But you didn't lose money. The minute you withdraw, you lost money. So next month, let's say it's worth $10, and the client goes, I'm not even going to call Omar, because he's just going to give me that dollar cost average, an example, an emotional logic stuff. He's going to keep me investing. I'm going to prove to him I'm closing out the account. So they call the 1-800 number. They don't even call me, and they close out the account. So what do they got? 100 shares, 140, 168 times. They're worth $10 now. That's a market value of that much. How much did they invest? $100 here, $100 here, $100 here, $100 here. No, 200. They invested $800. They earned over a rate of return of 100% in this example. When did they make their money? When they were emotionally happy, or when they were emotionally not happy? I got news for you. That's normally when you make the money in the stock market. When you're not emotionally happy, but you're a logical investor, you're well diversified, and you're on an automatic investment plan. That's how you do it. And when the market does go down, if you got extra cash, dump it in. Dump it every chance you get when the market's down. When the market's up, keep investing your regular, normal amount every month. But when the market's down, if you got extra cash, dump it in. And over the long term, that is called dollar cost averaging. Okay, now, hang in there with me. If you notice, this chart goes up and down a lot, right? The more aggressive the investment, the more volatility you get. You want volatility when you're trying to accumulate wealth. So in your younger years, when you got a longer time horizon, you want volatility, because the more ups and the more downs you get, if you're investing every month over the long term, it does you well. But now, if you're like, say, 8-10 years away from retirement, do you want that kind of volatility? No. Because what if when you want to retire, the market's down here? Like a lot of people. The reason that happened to them is they're not properly allocated. They weren't working with anybody to properly lead. So what if your investment included bonds in there? Okay? So bonds even out your line more. So let's make you believe you had half stock and half bonds. Your chart may look like this. That is a much more livable line at that age than this. Would you agree? Yes. What if you had all bonds, all municipal bonds, or all U.S. government bonds? Your line would probably look like this. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. Okay, so let me give you an example. Did this thing close out on me? You have a program to do that? I'm going to run it and explain it to you.
Omar?
Yes.
You're going to go through the corporate bond?
Yes.
We need
Yes, sir. Okay?